I've been this way my entire life in anything and everything I do, and I don't see it changing anytime soon. All I care about is winning. That's it. I just simply don't understand how people are trying to attain DeBoer's success. They're trying to attach that to Ryan Grubb. Well, I didn't expect to be making this video on your late Friday night, but some things have happened and here we are. As to when I'm speaking, this is breaking news, and I'm sure some of you have heard about this, I'm sure some of you haven't, but Alabama's new offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, he has just announced that he's leaving, or it's been announced that he's leaving. You get what I'm trying to say. Wait a minute. Did I say Ryan Grubb? No, it's Ryan Grubb. There we go. And there's so many different ways we can attack this, but I'd say for starters, we start with this. A couple days ago, and this has some people rallied up, Ryan Grubb stated, quote unquote, this is what he said, not me. I'm Ryan Grubb. I'm your new offensive coordinator. That quote you see right here, that's what Ryan Grubb told the Red Elephant Club. I guess I should have given you some context before I showed you that quote. The reason he got up there and stated that is because there's a lot of rumors and speculations going around that he was going to leave Alabama. Everybody and their mom was asking him about it nonstop, so that's why he got up there and stated that. That was 2 days ago on the 7th, and that seemed to shut down all the rumors because he put an end to it, or at least we thought. And then literally a couple minutes ago, as when I'm recording this video for you guys, the breaking news came out that Ryan Grubb, he's leaving Alabama to take the offensive coordinator position at Seattle. So yeah, I guess that's the end to the Ryan Grubb experience in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Not that there was ever an experience in general, because it never even started. And here's my 2 cents on the situation. I'm not gonna overreact too much because I have a hard time trying to figure out how big of a deal this is and how big of a loss this actually is for Alabama. And this isn't me trying to throw shade or shots at Ryan Grubb. I feel this way every single time we lose an offensive coordinator. Yeah, you don't like to see an offensive coordinator leave, but Alabama's been replacing offensive coordinators, it seems like, every other season. But I tell you this much, now that I think about it, it sucks that Grubb even came to Tuscaloosa in the first place, because if he wouldn't have, more likely we would have kept Tommy Rees. Now, I'm not sold on that because you never know, DeBoer might not even have liked Tommy Rees. They could have been butting heads, but the point is, there would have been a chance of it. But by DeBoer bringing in Ryan Grubb, you automatically say, oh yeah, Tommy Rees, sorry, but you gotta go. And I guess you could chalk this up to, oh, this is bad news for Alabama, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to. I don't think there's any reason for Alabama fans to be too worried about this to the slightest of bits. Ryan Grubb, last time I checked, he's a coach. He's not some real deal X factor on the field. It's not like we lost a quarterback, wide receiver, running back. No, it's none of that. And I've seen all the comments where people are saying, oh, it's because Grubb was in Tuscaloosa for a couple of weeks and he realized that program isn't going anywhere with Nick Saban and they're just on a downward spiral. And I just think that's ludicrous. Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we talking about? And then yet again, you got your typical casual tweeting out, I like to welcome Bama fans to 7-5. Buddy, what is this guy username? Go Bucks. Figured Ohio State fan. Buddy, do you really want to do this? Really? I don't know how many times I gotta tell you guys this. I know you have Bama fatigue, and I know you won't. And a lot of people want Bama to suck. You won't, or not just suck, you want Bama to go back to mediocrity. But it's not going to happen. That's not being realistic. I'll put it to you like this. If you are expecting Alabama to start going 7-5 right after Saban's retirement, you lost your mind. And I'm not saying Alabama won't ever go 7-5 again, because maybe sometime in the future they will. But here's what I am saying. In the near future, not going to happen. And I know how this is going to go, and you know how this is going to go as well. Everybody's going to point and laugh at Alabama, but I'm going to dive right back to this. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Here's a real question, what we need to start talking about. Who's going to be the new offensive coordinator for Alabama? Who's going to be the new replacement? As to where it stands right now, I haven't heard of any names. Well, of course I haven't heard of any names because this news just came out. I'm sure this is also news to DeBoer, and he's trying to figure out who in the crap he should hire next as the OC. But I'm going to give you my honest take on all this, and whether you like it or not, that's up for you to decide. I've been this way my entire life in anything and everything I do, and I don't see it changing anytime soon. All I care about is winning. That's it. Don't care how we win. I don't care if it's ugly. Don't care if it's pretty. All I care about is winning. I don't care if Ryan Grubb is calling the plays. I don't care if it's Bill O'Brien, Tommy Rees, DeBoer. I don't care if it's Gene Chizik. I don't care if it's Butch Jones. I don't care who's calling the plays. I just want to win. And I've said this since day one, and I'm going to continue to say it. I'm backing DeBoer 10,000%. Whatever he wants to do, I don't care if he wants to hire some random dude as offensive coordinator off the side of the street. I'm backing him. This is DeBoer's team, and he's got to run it how he wants to. I don't want any other outsiding factors weighing in. You can't hire a man as the head coach of the University of Alabama and handcuff him and say, oh, well, here's what you can do, here's what you can't do. No, you got to let him roam freely. And plus, two, push come to shove, Kalen DeBoer can call the plays, okay? Let's not act like that's out of the realm of possibilities here. And I could read off all these tweets all day, but take a look at this one. DeBoer has a 58% winning percentage when coaching without Grubb. Now, here's my biggest question. Number one, why do you know that? And number two, well, I know you didn't just know that off the top of your head. It's almost like people just look up for any reason to throw Kalen DeBoer under the bus and try to convince themselves that Alabama is going to fall off and Alabama is going to suck. Let's be honest here. What does DeBoer having a 58 winning percentage when coaching without Grubb, what does that even mean? I mean, what am I supposed to get upset about that? Come on, man. Let me put it to you like this. We haven't even addressed this, and I've been meaning to address it all throughout the video, so I do apologize just getting to it now. I will not, let me make this clear, I will not be getting worked up over this too much until I see some players decommitting and entering the portal due to Ryan Grubb leaving, and I don't think that's going to happen. Everybody's trying to make this argument and claim that, oh, well, Kalen DeBoer, his offense is only good when Ryan Grubb is there, and Ryan Grubb helped out Kalen DeBoer tremendously, and maybe he did, but I don't think, Ryan Williams, the 5-star wide receiver, he's going to be decommitting because of this news. These players that Kalen DeBoer has picked up recently and the guys that decided to stay, they didn't stay because of Ryan Grubb. No disrespect to him. It's clear-cut and obvious Kalen DeBoer is an extremely successful head coach with or without Ryan Grubb. I just think it's stupid and laughable for all these randos on Twitter to be crediting Kalen DeBoer's success to Ryan Grubb, because think about it. If the roles were reversed, or the situation was flipped, let's say Kalen DeBoer last year at Washington was, let's just say 0-12. Let's say DeBoer was 0-12. Well, y'all wouldn't have been crediting Ryan Grubb for that. No, you would have put all the blame on Kalen DeBoer. I just simply don't understand how people are trying to attain Kalen DeBoer's success. They're trying to attach that to Ryan Grubb. When in reality, you should just look at it from this perspective. Oh yeah, Ryan Grubb was extremely successful, and so is Kalen DeBoer. Period. The end. And I hate to continue to bring this up, but I got to because it applies to the situation, and I got to remind you, people, they are just trying to cope and convince themselves that Alabama is really falling off, when in reality, they're not. And then let me throw this in here. It's the last thing I'm going to say. You got all these people saying, oh, Ryan Grubb was in Tuscaloosa, and then he realized how boring it was, so he decided to leave and go back to Seattle. What? That just goes to show you the lack of knowledge a lot of people have on head coaches and offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators. I thought this was common sense. If you're an offensive coordinator at the collegiate level or in the NFL, you're a head coach, all you're doing is coaching football 24/7. You don't have time to, I guess what people are referring to is party 24/7. You got all these people saying, oh, well, it's boring in Tuscaloosa. And here's a quote I've lived by my entire life, and I firmly believe it. Only boring people get bored. It always cracks me up when these people say, oh, well, all Alabama has is football. That's all there is in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Well, you understand for a lot of people, most people, including these coaches, that's all they care about. And I'm sure some people are going to point towards, oh, well, Matt, there's not luxurious beaches in Alabama that Ryan Grubb can chill at in the offseason, which, yet again, there is no offseason. But there's lakes. You can go to the river. It's essentially the same thing. If you're an Alabama fan, don't even try to get worked up over this because it's not a big deal. I'm curious, though. Let me know your thoughts down below. But, Robin!